Good afternoon and welcome to the Transportation Committee meeting of, let's please, folks, quiet. Welcome to the Transportation Committee meeting of Wednesday, January 13th, 2016. I'm Mike Bonham, the chair of the committee. I'm joined by my colleagues, Mr. David Rue of the 4th District and Mr. Paul Koretz of the 5th District. We will start with our New Year's edition of our multimodal roll call. Over the holidays, since we last met prior to Christmas, who has commuted by bus? Train, bicycle, on foot. Okay, all right, cool, very good. Carpooling, very good, yeah, all right. Everybody who came from Beechwood carpooled today. Very good. Okay, so we're going to get moving on the agenda. It's a relatively light agenda. I'll start with general public comment. I see no general public comment cards today. So
no, sir.
General public comment is closed. That brings us to the balance of the agenda. I am going to recommend, we have public speaker cards on item 10, so we will call item 10 special. I was going to recommend the balance of the agenda on consent, unless there's speaker cards that have come in or anybody has any objection.
And we have a technical correction on item number 5. The recommendation number 4 in the report should read no parking 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. And the resolution is correct, so if we can approve that as amended.
Okay, so with that correction, items 1 through 9 and 11. Motion to approve? Mr. Rue, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, so without objection, that is the direction of the committee. And that brings us to item number 10.
Item number 10 is a DOT report relative to the establishment of temporary PPD number 239 near the southern intersection of Beechwood Drive and Belden Drive in CD4.
Okay, and this item, we have a number of public speaker cards on this one. I will start with Laura Davis, then Carolyn Thomas, Cheryl Veltri, and it looks like Gretchen. From, I don't want to read your address out, but it looks like a Gretchen.
Mr. Chair, I apologize for my tardiness, but if I could be marked as a yes on the previous consent items.
Without objection.
Thank you.
Yes, if you could start by stating your name.
Okay. Do you want us to go, maybe go in any order? Okay.
You go ahead.
I'm Laura Davis. I live at 2805 North Beechwood, and I'm speaking in favor of item number 10. And really, I'm just here to thank Councilman Rue for listening to us, for examining the facts, for hearing through the noise, and taking steps to ensure our safety. And that people like Carolyn's young twins can grow up safely, like the older people that are afraid to cross the street can cross safely. You listened, you heard us. So I'm only here to say thank you.
All right.
My name is Cheryl Veltri, and I live at 2724 North Beechwood Drive. And I would like to echo Laura's sentiments and thank the councilman for meeting with us and hearing and recognizing the situation and the safety hazards that have, the conditions that we've been under in the increasingly as the GPS has taken over and people are visiting the Hollywood sign and hiking, and we've just really been overrun. And so the safety concerns, and we're very thankful for this proposition, and I'm here in support of it.
Great. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Carolyn Thomas. I live at 2837 North Beechwood, and I, like these ladies, just really want to thank the councilman for taking the time to meet with us and listen to us and really understanding and having the willingness to address our very legitimate safety concerns there. Like Laura had mentioned, I have 2 babies that I push around the neighborhood in a stroller, and on the weekends it's virtually impossible, and the conditions feel extremely unsafe. So we really do appreciate, and I just wanted to vocalize my support for this. What is it? This motion. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next 4 speakers are Gabriel Veltri, Hope Anderson, Yvonne Westbrook, and Thomas Fenton. Thank you for carpooling.
Laura drove.
Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Yvonne Westbrook, and I live at 2815 North Beechwood Drive. I've been a resident for almost 43 years, and we've had a lot of changes, and we do really have a lot of serious safety issues. And I also want to thank Councilman Rue for really listening to us and trying to help us with our problems. It means a lot that he's really gone the extra mile, and his staff has gone an extra mile to really see how bad our problems actually are, and that we're not just a bunch of whiners or NIMBYs. They really are serious concerns. I have an 85-year-old mother who likes to park on the street, and on weekends she can't park. And so there's a lot of coordination and different things that have to happen, but I feel like my mother should be able to park in front of her house and be able to get out of her car to get in the house rather than having to walk a longer way. Yeah, that's all. I support the proposition, and thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'm Hope Anderson, 2800 North Beechwood Drive. I'm a resident for 10 years, and I've seen it get progressively worse, so I'd like to thank Councilman Rue for his support and for being so receptive to our concerns, because we really have no way of anyone visiting us or parking in front of our houses. But beyond that, there's just constant problem with people making U-turns in the middle of the street, denting other cars, trying to run people over, or whether on purpose or inadvertently. So we are very grateful for the relief that this measure would provide. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Veltri, 2724 North Beechwood Drive, resident for 27 years. I also would like to thank Councilman Rue for Proposition 10. I know that a lot of his time has been taken up with the problems of our area, and he's been very helpful and willing to work with us, and I would like to thank him.
Hello, I'm Thomas Fenton, 2844 Beechwood. I'm the new kid on the block. I've been here for 2 years. Right now, I feel like I'm on House of Cards. This is really interesting. I'm a big fan, by the way. Anyway, I was just getting over a cold, too, so. But thank you again for paying attention to us. And it's a quality of life issue. It's a safety issue. You can't leave the house on the weekend. Can't get any peace and quiet. The constant, I think the word overrun was used by one of my former speakers, and I appreciate that. It's just, it's a constant battle to do anything in our houses, even enjoy any kind of quality of life. So thank you very much for listening to us and hearing us today.
Just one question for Mr. Fenton.
Yes.
Which one of us is Kevin Spacey?
You are, since you asked the question. And I know, Kevin, you'd like each other.
Should have kept my mouth shut.
I'll pay the wife.
Okay, so there was, thank you all. There was one more speaker card. It was the person, I thought the handwriting is Gretchen. Is there someone who filled out a speaker's card who hasn't come up? Oh, is that TJ? Oh, sorry. Definitely not a Gretchen.
Hi, I'm Charles Cardenas, and I live on 2805 North Beechwood. I support the motion, and thank you, Councilman Rue.
Great, thank you. Well, Mr. Rue, you have just set a record for the most thank yous from Beechwood Canyon in all T committee meetings ever.
Actually, we've been working through this issue for a long time, and and I really want to thank the Beechwood community folks for braving the 101 and coming here. Carpool, right? Or public transit coming out here. I really appreciate it. And I have been working with not just these set of Beechwood Canyon residents, but throughout the whole Hollywood Hills. And I'm happy that we're in unison today, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. And just to give my colleagues an update, these are one of the many issues I inherited. And this is an area that affects 22 homes and about 5 to 10 businesses. And just for the record, the business community, which I was hoping would come today as well, emailed in their dissent. They are not in favor, so for the record, and my office, along with the community, I really have to thank the community, both the business groups and the community neighborhood groups. This was a very contentious issue, but everyone came together. I personally had about 2.5 meetings with the community myself. My staff has had, I would say, at least 10 meetings just on this small PPD, because Beechwood Canyon is separated into separate areas. The northern part of Beechwood Canyon has a PPD in place already. This is the midsection, which only affects 22 homes and 5 to 10 businesses. And my staff, even earlier today, met with the business community. And I say 2.5 because the last meeting, both the community groups and the business groups came together, broke bread. We thought we had an agreement. And you know, we even have photo proof of the great collaborative meeting we had. I think the only thing we forgot was to get them to sign it. But both groups have gave lots of concessions. Just for the record, the homeowners were asking for a 7-day PPD, but they compromised on a weekend and holidays. They were asking from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., but they also conceded to 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. They also conceded to allow for diagonal parking, which we are going to work in that area, in certain portions of the street, as well as valet service and parking meters, which I'm going to be working with the business community and the neighborhoods to get all those things implemented. And I know the business community is going to check is probably hopefully hearing this, but the PPDs, I'm going to be urging my colleagues to pass this motion, but just to let the community know, this does not mean it gets into effect the very next day. We're going to be pushing in my office, so just to let the business community know, all these other things that we're working on will be in conjunction, and we'll be working towards it. This does, just because we've had many setbacks in agreements, disagreements, and both sides, before I even got into office, were promised many different things. So I'm glad that we were able to put that all behind us and come together. Even though we do have a little bit of disagreement again, this does not mean we should not work together. We will come back together. My office will encourage and bring everybody to the table again to work out any differences and any confusion we might have. But let's look towards, we all sat down together and broke bread. That's the most important thing. And this is only one small issue in the Beechwood Canyon area where the Hollywood sign is. And again, we're driving it. It's not a tourism issue. I fully support tourism in the city of Los Angeles, but the issues up in Beechwood Canyon is not a tourism issue. I'm not approaching it in that way. It's not a nuisance issue. I know a lot of the homeowners are being inundated with lots of tourists and hikers and whatnot, but I'm approaching this issue as a public safety issue. And not just for the Beechwood Canyon area, but throughout the hillsides. Because we have lots of substandard streets, narrow streets, and I know Councilman Koretz and Councilman Bonin, you share many areas. So we're proactively looking at this as a whole systematic approach. For this particular issue, I'm introducing this motion to resolve it right away today, because this is something that was promised to these communities for a long time before I even got elected, and I'm happy we're able to come to a resolution. Great. So I encourage my colleagues to vote an aye vote.
Okay. So without objection, that item is approved, and that is the end of our agenda. So we are adjourned. Thank you.